What is up, Yankee fans? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's live stream, we've got a pretty jam-packed show. We're going to talk about the Yankees international free agent class, which they haven't made many of their signings official yet. You are not seeing a lot of these, these posts where the Yankees have the player in front of whatever Yankees kind of facility they're at, signing, putting pen to paper, having the jersey on, having the hat on. And that's because they haven't made a lot of these signings official yet. And while I understand why people, why people are a little bit, not skeevy, but more so kind of curious as to what the Yankees international free agent situation is. It is an interesting situation where the Yankees have a boatload of players they're going to try to sign. They have a market that has a player like Roki Sasaki out there who they're not in on. They're not in on him. We know that. And the other aspect of all of this, that there are teams who are in on him who may need some international free agent money, and the Yankees might be willing to, of course, offer some of that money. So there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot for us to talk about in that regard. We're going to break down some of the players they're projected to sign or expected to sign. Don't be concerned about the fact that these aren't official yet. That could be an indication of potentially making the trade to acquire, someone in return for dishing out some IFA money to a team like the Dodgers, or the Padres, or maybe even the Blue Jays. But with that being said, let's start looking through the comment section here. We've got Alexander here. We've got Nelson Family Fun Vision here. If you're here, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, we really appreciate you guys stopping by and spending some time here with us tonight. Yankees getting Michael Arias gives another rotation or bullpen arm. Also, he could be an emergency position player. Start spreading the news. Let's go, Yankees. We're also going to talk about Michael Arias because the Yankees did make a trade to acquire him. But with that being said, there's, again, just a lot to talk about. Very excited for today's episode. I love getting to talk about prospects and all that stuff. It's just a lot less, not in the sense of speculation. It's a lot less speculation in the sense of I don't really have to sit here and worry about, all right, this player, that player, acquiring players. Like, these are players in the Yankee organization. These are guys that are here. I don't have to speculate about them being here. We can just talk about their upside, why the Yankees have them in the organization, what they could be down the line. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Michael Arias. Now, Michael Arias is someone who the Yankees acquired from the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs traded him because they DFA'd him. He is a right-handed pitcher. He throws pretty hard. He sits 96.1 miles per hour with his sinker. He's got a good changeup. He's got a pretty good array of weapons to work with. The problem is that I have no idea if he can throw strikes because he has walked 130-something batters or 135 batters in 182 innings of minor league work. He has no idea what the strike zone is. He has no idea how to locate. It is a really big problem. You can describe his command as 20 to 30 grade, but the upside is truly, truly hard to pass on. Look, this is a guy who is 23 years old or is in his age 23 season. He will not turn 24 until the conclusion of the 2024 MLB season. So, a young player. He's got 2 minor league options, which means the Yankees basically have 2 more years where he can be sent down to the minor leagues. So when he no longer can be sent down to the minor leagues, he'll be entering his age 25 season. 2 years of development is pretty notable. That is a good chunk of time to get yourself back and get yourself acclimated to pitching at the professional level, and maybe figure out and fine tune some of the command issues. He was a starter coming up through the Cubs system, but he is now a reliever. To answer your question, Joe, and the big interesting thing here about Michael Arias. He signed as an international free agent with the Blue Jays in 2018. Didn't play a game for them. He signed as a shortstop. So he just got into pitching. Pitching is something that's new for him. He didn't play at college, and he definitely didn't finish out his high school years. He signed as an international free agent at 16, unless he somehow graduated, unless he went to high school at age 12 and was playing high school ball for 4 years at that point. But it's unlikely he has enough pitching experience for us to completely write off the fact that maybe he just needs more time, and maybe in a reliever role, he can concentrate a little bit more on just got to get me through an inning or two. He's got really good stuff. He's got some funky, unique release points. We're going to take a look here, and we're going to start doing the share screen because I just, whenever we start doing player breakdowns, I like giving you guys visuals and data points to look at. So we're going to do that right now. Just going to press the nice little beautiful button I have here that allows me to share my screen. We're going to share and display this. So here we've got, and we're going to get rid of this media asset for now. So talking a little bit about Arias, he has, again, this is from his AAA season. These are his pitch specs from that year. I'm still going to stop zooming out and zooming in. 96.1 miles per hour on that sinker. When you look at Stuff Plus, this is from TJ Stats on Twitter. If you guys don't follow him, you should. Now, his Stuff Plus models don't love Michael Arias' stuff, and that makes sense. Look, his sinkers aren't a pitch also that are going to have excellent Stuff Plus grades. He throws a sinker 67.5% of the times, and changeups are another pitch that don't really do well in a Stuff Plus model. But sinker's got a good velo, but not a ton of horizontal or vertical movement. He needs a little bit more, I think, arm side movement, or to get a little bit more dip on that sinker to make it a more dominant pitch. He also has some funky release points. He released his slider at a 5-foot release height with a 2.2 horizontal release point, which is that means the wide and low release point, similar to guys like Jake Cousins or Luis Heel, if you want to make comparisons here in terms of arm slot. He gets a good amount of whiffs on his sinker compared to the average sinker, and he does limit damage contact. But look at this here. It's the lack of ability to throw pitches in zone consistently. Your fastball, you should be throwing it in zone around 60% of the time if you've got good command. Now, if you want to pinpoint what the Yankees can do to make Michael Arias better, I think upticking that changeup usage is a big part of it. This changeup is a plus pitch. It has good vertical movement. It's got 2.1 inches of induced vertical break. That means it has a good amount of drop, and it's got over 16 inches of horizontal movement. That's good. He releases it again from a low and a wide slot, so it's got tons of depth, tons of spin to it for changeup. 50% whiff rate, low damage contact rate allowed. But again, it's the whiff rate, it's the chase rate, and it's the lack of throwing pitches in zone. In AAA, batters only chased out of the zone 20.6% of the time. League average chase rates tend to hover around 28 to 30% of the time. So Michael Arias is in the first percentile in chase rates. He never, ever, 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 ever gets batters to expand the zone. That is a product of not throwing enough strikes. His slider could use work, not enough depth, not enough horizontal movement. And as a result, good amount of whiffs in a small sample size, but not a good enough pitch. 99 Stuff Plus, not going to work for me. Michael Arias is going to have to hone in and sharpen that slider if he wants to really be a plus reliever at the next level. And then, of course, he's got to have like 30 or 40 grade command. 20 grade command is not going to cut it. That is unpitchable at the next level. And so, yeah, he needs to get better in that regard, but it's a good project to take. He's young, projectable, lively arm, just funky release points, the kind of flyer you take any day of the week. He has a spot on the 40-man roster, but it's cheap. He's not even on a major league team. He doesn't have to be on the major league team for 2 years. So, yeah, there's that. I'm not really concerned about the cost and now there's no cost here. There's nothing to really worry about in this regard. With that being said, Nico Hoerner's next. I wish the Yankees could get Nico Hoerner, but it seems to be that the Yankees are going to have to whatchamacallit. The Yankees are going to have to bank on the Cubs getting an infielder. That infielder would have to be somebody, like, how do I say this? It has to be somebody like an Alex Bregman that goes to the Cubs to force them to say, all right, we've got an infielder. We'll play Matt Shaw at second, and we will free up some salary here by trading Nico Hoerner. I just don't really think, I don't really think that it's something that we should be banking on or relying on for the Yankees right now. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We talked about that already. Michael Arias looks a lot like Clay Holmes where we got him. Yeah, wild command, not playable command at the big league level, and then he just kind of figures it out with the Yankees. Definitely possible that happens. Go New York Yankees. Go Yankees, man. What's up? What's up, Eric? You're in Michigan? Love to hear that, man. Love to see Yankee fans all over the world, all over the country. Love that stuff. Mikey Boy 007 says, hi, Ryan. How are you? Thoughts on the Yankees potentially structuring next offseason around Murakami? They did only sign Goldschmidt on a one-year deal, so it makes sense. All right. This is something where I hate to be the bubble burster. I really do. I really, really, really do. Murakami is not, in my opinion, the kind of player I would bank on bringing in and getting impact from at the major league level. He's a first baseman / third baseman, not a particularly good third baseman, so mostly a first baseman. And there are some very important flaws in his game. He has 0th percentile contact rates. He is bottom of the barrel, the worst in the MPB at making contact. The Nippon Baseball League has tons of talent. They do not have the same average fastball velo, average fastball vertical break. They just don't have the pitching and the overwhelming stuff that we see at the major leagues. That's not to say that the Japanese Nippon Baseball League, it is not a league with talent. Rogi Sasaki is clearly talented. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a stud. Yu Darvish, stud. Shota Imanaga, stud. Seiya Suzuki, stud. Masataka Yoshida, only problem is that he can't play defense. That's a pretty big problem, but he's a pretty solid hitter. Murakami is not a better player than Seiya Suzuki. He's not a better hitter than Masataka Yoshida. And he's a first baseman. It's just a rough fit. It is not the fit that I think people think it will be. He is not the player that I think people think he is. And I think a lot of people looked at that 2022 season, which was, oh my God, levels of good, and then stopped tracking him after. His contact rates are a very real problem. This is like if, I'm going to make the comparison here. It's like if you said Spencer Jones, Spencer Jones, he's going to be a guy who you should bank your offseason on next year and give $100 million to. That's not the kind of player you do that with. I would be shocked. That's the word I'm looking for. Shocked. If Munetaka Murakami signed a significant major league deal without making massive improvements to his contact rates. If he repeats his last 2 years in 2025, he will not get a lot of money. I don't even know if he'll get guaranteed major league money beyond just one season. So no, I don't think the Yankees are banking on it. I think the Yankees are going to explore any and all options. I think he has the upside to be a productive big leaguer, but I don't think the upside's particularly that high because, again, he plays first base. The defensive value of being a first baseman is just not particularly great. He has to be that guy. Has to. I mean, it's just he has to be that guy in order for him to he has to be that guy in order for me to justify building an offseason around him, and he's not to me. Who would you say is the Yankees' best international signing from this winter? It is Manny Cedeno. Let me just let's see if I can find this. Share this tab instead. This is Manny Cedeno, shortstop. He is one of the youngest players in this class. He's 16 years old. He's going to be 16 until August 14th. So that's basically the entire duration of the Dominican Summer League year. And he is described as having a very smooth swing, which you guys are going to get to see here on this beautiful share screen feature. Look, Manny Cedeno was described as someone who has, a very, very high floor compared to most IFA prospects. And that's because of his ability to make contact at a pretty high level. He's got a pretty good feel for contact, a pretty good hit tool. He's got power that's continuing to develop. And as a guy who's only 16, he's got 2 more years probably to grow up a little bit physically, whether it's height-wise, whether it's adding some more muscle. He's got a very good arm. He is from a part of the Dominican Republic that is known for producing shortstops and guys with wicked arms. So Cedeno is someone, in my opinion, who has the ability to stick at shortstop. Maybe he ends up moving to third or second, but he has the ability to stick at shortstop. He's got pretty good speed. Again, it's a guy who's just got a lot of tools, and as he gets older, we could potentially see him develop more into his power tool, figure out how to move in his body a little more freely. As when you grow up, when you're growing up, it's hard to be comfortable in your growing body. So maybe movement wise, he gets a little more comfortable with his new height or his newfound height. This is a guy who's got a good amount of upside. MLB.com ranked him as the 11th best prospect. Baseball America did not rank him as the 15th best prospect. They ranked him as the 15th highest bonus. He's the guy with the 15th highest bonus in this class. Very important distinction to make, guys. I do not think Baseball America, I do not think that they rank guys anymore, or at least they couldn't find rankings. You just find the 100 largest bonus pools. That also means that players who are uncommitted will not be on that list yet. It's a very weird situation. It's a very awkward situation. And of course, that's important, the uncommitted players, because Sasaki being out there means that there are 3 teams in the Blue Jays, Yankees, and the Padres, the Blue Jays, Dodgers, and Padres, who are not going to land, who are not going to be able to acquire their guys just yet. We're just in a very weird situation. We're in a very, 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 very weird situation. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. So very interesting, very curious to see how things go from here. We'll see how things shake up. But Cedeno's the best guy the Yankees are going to get in this draft class, in this international free agent class. It's also important to note, guys, these are 16-year-olds. Projecting a 16-year-old's value is crazy hard. It is crazy, crazy, crazy difficult. So there's that. We need a third baseman. Yep, we need a third baseman. I don't know who that'll be. Do you agree that it would make sense for the Yankees? Murakami? No, I don't think it would make sense for the Yankees. Or at least to even build your offseason around him. I think you have to. I don't know if he's a good major league player. I don't. Who are your 3 favorite draft picks in the most recent draft, and why? For the Yankees or in general? I can't give you in general because I'm not gonna lie. I really only pay attention to the Yankees draft stuff. But yeah. Now in regards to the Yankees draft, the picks I like the most. Thatcher Hurd, I love that pick. He is a guy who needs to improve his command, but the stuff is wicked. I do love Ben Hess and Bryce Cunningham, but I like Bryce Cunningham a little more because it's a second-round pick versus a first-round pick. So going to use the value to edge him out a little bit more, put him at second. And then Brendan Jones. I was really impressed with what Brendan Jones did in the minor leagues. We had an interview with him, but Jones is someone who was selected in the 12th round. Good speed, good defensive guy at a premium position, good feel for contact, good on base skills, working on developing the power this winter. So someone I think could have a pretty big year and already had a pretty good start to his professional career. Did very well in high A with the Hudson Valley Renegades. So yeah. Looks like nothing's happening until they trade Marcus Stroman. Yeah, it does look like nothing's happening until they trade Marcus Stroman. And look, Marcus Stroman is someone that the Yankees need to move off of and get that money off of if they're going to dip under luxury tax again, that 4th threshold, and then sign someone without having this massive surcharge on top of them. Now, someone that I think could appeal to the New York Yankees if they decide to, go a little bit cheaper in the infield is Willie Castro. I've talked about him. I've talked about Ramon Arias. I've talked about a lot of guys who I think could interest the Yankees and pique their interest and be of value to them. But overall, I just personally think that the offense needs a legitimate infielder, a legitimate impact bat, someone who can genuinely make them a good bit better. So, I don't view that as I don't view that as a Brendan Rodgers or even Nolan Arenado. I don't think Nolan Arenado is a very good fit for the Yankees. So the Yankees are getting one of the top prospects from the 2026 IFA class, right? Yes, they're getting, I can't pronounce his last name, but it's like Wandy Isigen, something. I can't pronounce last names, man. I'm really bad at this. But yes, we're expected to sign one of the top prospects, like a Dominguez Arias type of like number 1 guy in his draft class guy. And no, the Ke'Bryan Hayes thing is BS. It does not seem like Ke'Bryan Hayes will be a Yankee. I think it was in the Pittsburgh Gazette, but they were like, yeah, that rumor's BS about him asking for a trade. So I'm under the impression that Ke'Bryan Hayes is not being moved and he will not be a New York Yankee. So just get that one. Unfortunately, if you like Ke'Bryan Hayes, unfortunately, if you don't like him, maybe fortunately for you, if you don't like Ke'Bryan Hayes, congrats. He's not going to be a Yankee. If you did like Ke'Bryan Hayes, sorry to say he will probably not be a Yankee, at least this winter. Maybe things change during the season, and I don't know. Whatchamacallem. So let's see. Let's see kind of what we got going on here in the comment section. What was I going to say about Stroman? I had a thought come into my mind about Stroman when I was like talking about Hayes and Arenado. All right, it's that if they move Stroman and they got like a cheaper infielder like a Willie Castro or a Ramon Arias, I need that money to be invested like somewhere. I need that to like somewhere. It needs to go somewhere. Like it has to be the bullpen or something. That's why I kind of prefer for it to be the infield. And if you ask me who my preference is, it would be like an Alex Bregman if he signs a short-term deal, or a someone like a Ha-Seong Kim would be dope as well. I love Ha-Seong Kim. I feel like it's going to be an out of nowhere deal. I would love for it to be an out of nowhere deal for someone who's good. I'm just not entirely sure who that will be. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know who I don't know who that would have been. I don't know who that would be. I'm still curious to see how this market unfolds. I'm still curious to see where some of these guys land. So, yeah. Favorite Yankees player? Austin Wells rocks, but let's see. Let's see. I'm not sure. You know, you have Judge, Garrett Cole. I'd say Garrett Cole, because see, the thing that separates Garrett Cole from Aaron Judge is the postseason play. I've never like sat back and said Garrett Cole's costing us a championship. So, well, actually, 2021 was a bad start. That ended our playoff run. But I don't know. I think Garrett Cole's like my top guy, and of all time, CC Sabathia. CC Sabathia sounds like that kind of guy. Like I'm trying to think, like just trying to make sure Jeter's obviously up there. Mo is obviously up there, but like I'm factoring in guys who I grew up watching them play. I didn't necessarily grow up watching Jeter play. Jeter is awesome, obviously, but like I caught him when he was like 30, right? So like I didn't grow up watching him play. I grew up admiring him. I grew up my first 10 years of my life, but like CC's a guy where like 09, I was 5, like he was here until 2019. I legitimately grew up watching him play. That's where it's a little bit different, but those are all good candidates for that. Could the Yankees be waiting to try to grab one of these guys the Padres or Dodgers wouldn't be signing? So this is what I want to talk about when it comes to the international free agent market. The Yankees could either be looking to try to kind of swoop in and hawk up one of these guys who the Dodgers or Padres were going to sign but no longer can commit to, or 2, they could supply the Dodgers and Padres with money, international free agent money. It's a $250,000 slot, and say, hey, we'll give you this money so you can sign some of your commits, but you have to give us a player that's going to help us. And it doesn't have to be a superstar. I'm not saying you find your infielder this way, but let's kind of look through both these rosters right now. I'm going to share this tab right now. I don't know if that's possible to Blue Jays, or not that it's not possible to Blue Jays, but I'm unsure that the Blue Jays and Yankees are going to, I don't think the Yankees are going to help the Blue Jays get Roki Sasaki. I think they're fine helping 2 teams in the National League do it. That's just a guess. I don't really care. I don't care about trading with if the Blue Jays get Roki Sasaki, like, yeah, it would suck, but like, I don't know. I want to make my team better, and making my team better involves sometimes, doing something that maybe you don't really want to do. Now, if you look at the Padres, their strength is bullpen depth, and that's something that I think will help the Yankees in any conversations, because you could always use bullpen depth, and if another team has that to offer, you can certainly benefit from it. Now, I don't know which one of these guys in this group I'm really in on. I'm just going to kind of look through this group of relievers. Alec Jacob was sick. He does not throw hard at all, but he is, he did have some pretty strong numbers in his major league debut, 14 2/3 innings, big strikeout numbers, big strikeout numbers. Solid, not really great. And why was he so bad in AAA? That's weird. But, had some sick numbers. Maybe that's someone who the Yankees are able to peel off of the Padres. Again, just kind of speculating here. Oh, Jesus Christ, this guy was awful this year. He did have a really good 2023 season, and then just fell off the face of the earth this past year. Maybe that's an avenue the Yankees are willing to explore, just kind of like pick up a guy who struggled a lot last year for IFA money and just kind of like slot him in the bullpen. He wouldn't stand out to me as someone who I would love to have, but, he exists and he's got a good slider. So there's that. Stephen Kolek, really bad in his big league debut. Not sure that's someone the Yankees would target, but, nothing, good ground ball guy, good sinker. Like, maybe that is someone the Yankees could look at. We'll see. But good underlying metrics, though. I wonder if maybe that's an appealing player here. Kolek, good ground ball rate, but he is a right-handed pitcher. I don't know how much that's going to turn off the Yankees. Does he have minor league options? He does. Maybe. Now, if you look at the Dodgers, what the Dodgers have to offer on the pitching side of the ball, is kind of insane. They have so many pitchers. They have literally so many pitchers, so many good pitchers, young pitchers. Look at this. I mean, all 5 of these guys it would take, but I don't think if I'm the Dodgers, I would trade a single one of them. I would not trade a single one of these guys for just international free agent money. Jackson Ferris isn't even mentioned here. He's a stud. They've got studs up and down. Maddox Bruns, excuse me. Peyton Martin's pretty freaking good. They just got so many good pitchers, man. Now, if you ask me who I would want, who I would love to have for IFA money, now Carlos Duran is someone who I think is out, who has to be put on the 40-man. But he was listed as out for non-injury related reasons. That's curious to me. That's interesting. I'm going to share a stab right here. Had a pretty productive minor league year. Only made 1 start. I'm not sure what happened here. When did his season end? When did his season ended in September? Kind of normal season ending. Okay. Is he someone that maybe the Yankees could pick up? He's got, 60 grade slider, 60 grade fastball, decent enough curveball, meh, changeup, meh, command, meh. Like that's going to be meh, but 6'7" tall dude. I don't know. That's like, I'm just saying there are definitely avenues where you can, definitely avenues where the Yankees could try to, improve their roster and, improve their minor league depth by just trying to, offer up IFA money to get prospects back, or of course, use that IFA money and go get someone to supplement your farm system even further. So, yeah. IFA money for a potential backup catcher. I don't know if the Padres can provide that. I think the Dodgers can. I think they have a guy who's young. I forget. I think it's like Hunter Fetter. I'm honestly, I'm not 100% certain with the last names. Anywho, hello, special Pookie Daddy Ryan. What's up, Harambe? Appreciate you, man. You seem like a pitcher person, someone who likes pitchers. You ever played pitcher before? I did pitch growing up a little bit. Never really had a lot of success playing past like Little League. So there's that. Knowing the Yankees knowing the Yankees next move is going to be calling up a farm system guy or signing Jorge Polanco. I think Jorge Polanco's certain reality. Like that's certainly a real avenue to go down, but I don't think that's their only option. They seem to just kind of be waiting things out, which is interesting. I don't really know what they're going to do. It'd be pretty good with the Jays landing Sasaki because I don't think they'll be very good. Well, I'd want him to go to the Padres because he'd be in the National League and he'd decrease the Dodgers' chances of winning the World Series. And yes, if he went to the Dodgers, that'd be worst case scenario for us because they would be holy cow levels of good. So, yeah, there's that. We talked about this. Let's say the Yankees are indeed interested in a deal with Norland and Stroman. What kind of deal they couldn't do with that kind of deal? They couldn't do something similar with the Twins for Correa if they like Stroman. Well, if the Twins like Stroman, maybe, but I don't think a lot of teams really want Stroman. And the last thing I'd like to know is that when it comes to Marcus Stroman, the New York Yankees, they're going to try to move off him, but I don't think they're going to move off of him and get an impact player back. I think they're going to move off of him and either A, eat some money up, or B, I don't know. I just don't necessarily believe that. I don't necessarily believe that the. I don't know. I don't necessarily believe the Yankees are going to like get Correa either because I don't really think the Twins are interested in trading him at the moment. But there's that. IFA money. We talked about that. Polanco doesn't fit the Yankees. He doesn't fit those two things, but he is someone who I think would help offensively. So, yeah, there's that. I'm unsure. Did you see? Yes, I saw Austin Wells' interview with Yes Network. Didn't give me like any like crazy info. I was like, oh my gosh, wow. But like, just cool to see him with the beard. I think he looks good with the beard. I was actually a lot more kind of enthralled by the interview that Spencer Jones delivered, where he talked a lot about just trying to get the ball in the air and hit it hard in the air. And yeah. I just right, like he's if he's able to get the ball in the air consistently, he's going to look pretty freaking good. He's going to look pretty freaking good because he can, if he gets the ball in the air consistently, he's going to hit a lot of home runs. If it's a lot of home runs, you can strike out a good bit and still be a productive Major League Baseball player. So there's that. With that being said, any questions we got about international free agency, about the Yankees prospect situation, all that stuff? Anything you guys want to ask? Obviously I'm around to answer those questions. We don't always have to stick to just kind of whatever I think, whatever I wanted to talk about originally. So yeah, there's that. Take another swig of water though. I'm sorry, I'm very dehydrated. I can't lie. Like I don't know what's good with me. I've just been like, I love water. Need water. Need water. Any interesting pitchers from this IFA class? Usually pitchers don't like become particularly interesting. Like they rarely pan out, if that makes sense. So it's the Yankees have signed it. I think they do have a pitcher, but I'm not entirely like, we don't know anything about the guy. Like that's the other thing. It's tough with international free agent prospects. You do not have like high school or college film. You literally do not have any film. So there's that. I hate that that's such a, I guess, lackluster answer. But yeah, I hope that settles. Sorry. I hope that answers your question or gives you a satisfactory or a clear-cut answer. I think the best path for dumping Stroman's contract and be one of those teams that need help getting to the salary floor, Oakland or Miami. I agree. I do agree. I definitely think that that's the situation in which they'll be able to, get. I think that that'll be a scenario where they'd be able to get, salary relief, because those are teams that could use some pitching anyways. And yeah, they're going to need to add some salary to avoid the salary floor. More so with the Marlins than the Athletics at this point. The Athletics have spent a good chunk of change. So, yeah. Of the in-house options for third base, second base, who would most likely start on opening day? I'd imagine it'd be Oswaldo Cabrera, right? I'd imagine it would be Oswaldo Cabrera. That he's clearly better than DJ LeMahieu. So, yeah. But, I mean, we're talking about your utility man or a guy who shouldn't be in the league. Those are your options. Hogan Harris, I don't think you're getting Hogan Harris. You're not getting an impact player for Marcus Stroman. You are getting nothing for Marcus Stroman. You were getting salary relief. It's kind of like when the Cubs got Cody Poteet for Cody Bellinger. Yeah, man, you're not going to get even a Cody Poteet. You're going to get no one of note. You might get like a guy in single A who's not very good. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. With that being said, though, I do think it's important to note when it comes to a Marcus Stroman mock trade that the Yankees are trying. They're trying to do whatever they can to get off that salary. It's not their fault that they can't get off it. Is it their fault that they misevaluated the player? Yeah, that's fair, but it's not like, teams are dying to spend money. Teams are cheap. Like, you think the Yankees are cheap for being, $304 million on the threshold and not going over the threshold by like $30 million? The teams are cheaper than us. So if you think we're cheap, dude, teams are cheap. Teams are so cheap. Mets really interested in trading for Vladdy. I'm scared. They're not really interested. They checked in. And number two, the Toronto Blue Jays are not trading Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It is a fantasy. That is what Andy Martino described it as, and he's the one who reported that they checked in. It seemed to be something that came out from the Mets side or Alonso's side. There are multiple Blue Jays supporters who have indicated they're actively discussing extension talks with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and they're expected to kick up and kind of accelerate ahead of this February 17th deadline that Vlad himself set. And I see you apologizing. Do not apologize. It's not your fault. The reason that a lot of people get caught up in this stuff is because aggregators do a really bad job of providing context. A lot of aggregators will just go, they checked in. And then a lot of people go, they're going to get him. Well, why the Blue Jays? Like, it's important to remember that you need multiple sources of information to give you multiple pieces of context to allow you to kind of put together the puzzle of what's going on. Blue Jays reporters are telling you they're actively negotiating, and the Mets reporter or the New York reporter is telling you it's a fantasy. That tells you it's not coming from the Blue Jays, and it may be coming from Vlad's camp. Maybe it's coming from the Mets camp. Maybe it's coming from Alonso's camp, but it's not true. It's not true. It's not at all. It's not. That's kind of where I'm at. Not a hot take. I don't think it is. I'm leaning for Jazz to be a third baseman, regardless of who they get, considering it's not realistic they get a primary third baseman. Yeah, I mean, if you get Ha-Seong Kim, he should play third. Jazz should play third. If you get Nico Hoerner, Jazz should play third. If you get Willie Castro, Jazz should play third. Well, I think maybe Willie Castro should play third because his arm is really good. His range is like not great. It's solid. Whereas Jazz has excellent range. And then the last guy I'd like to mention is, if you get Bregman, that's the only guy where like I think you could see the Yankees moving Jazz to second. I don't think they're going to move Bregman to second if they got him, but I also don't think they're getting Alex Bregman. So yeah, that's there's that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Would you give up what would you give up for Hoerner or Brian Hayes? For Brian Hayes, considerably less because he has controllable. He has guaranteed money for like 5 more years, and he's a project player. For Nico Hoerner, I would trade a good chunk. I would give them a controllable reliever because they need some controllable relief help. God, look at that bullpen; it's not very good. Ian Hamilton could be of interest to them. Maybe Jake Cousins if they prefer that. I don't really care. Let them pick. I would offer them obviously prospects. The prospect who I think would entice them the most is Will Warren because that's someone that they've publicly been known to like, according to Pat Rangazzo of Sports Illustrated during the Cody Bellinger saga. And the last player I would offer is pitching prospect Cam Schlittler, who is someone who I think would appeal to them because he's got that cut fastball that the Cubs really like. So, I think that the Yankees have what the Cubs are looking for in terms of relief help. I don't know if they have what they're looking for in terms of prospect help, but again, them liking Will Warren would certainly help. And the Yankees did have interest in acquiring Nico Hoerner prior to the Cubs trading away Isaac Paredes, which effectively, took Nico Hoerner off the table. I doubt that the Chicago Cubs are going to trade Nico Hoerner unless they got someone like Alex Bregman. And I do think that Nico Hoerner is a high impact player. And I do think that most Yankee fans underrate him. And I think Yankee fans underrate players who don't have like insane OPS numbers. It's fine. I get it. You want guys who can mash. You don't really care about defense and base running as much. But yeah, I mean, I think it's completely unfair to discount how important defense is. And this is why when it comes to Brian Hayes, like if the Yankees got him, they'd have a better situation at third base than if they didn't get him. And I think it's impossible for me to sit here and argue that, they wouldn't be. Even if the player's not a great hitter, if they're a good player, that's all that really matters. That's all that matters, folks. You just need to get a good player. That's exactly that matters. It's exactly what matters. That's where I'm at. Don't trade no prospects. They should trade prospects if they can if their team gets better. That's kind of where I'm at. Bregman, Hoerner, the only option I think get this team back to a World Series. I disagree. I think that, what if the Yankees were able to acquire like a big time piece for their bullpen? What if they got Tanner Scott and then got like Willie Castro? Like, yeah, I think they're going to go to the World Series, man. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I think would happen. So I don't know. We'll see. What about Jake Cronenworth? Don't see the Yankees taking on 6 years of Jake Cronenworth. That's kind of where I'm at, even though I do think he's a good fit for Yankee Stadium. Seeing how strong Roderick Rios finished the season, is he a candidate to move quickly? Would be great if he and Lombard panned out. That's a great question. So if his contact rates remain, playable, he has like 45th percentile contact rates. I think that he could be a fast mover to the organization. He's a good athlete. He's someone who he will stick at a position. He's got a good bat. He's got good speed, good legs, good wheels. Lombard, he is someone who the Yankees really like. Why I've grown to see why they do like him through some of the data there. So yeah, I don't really know if if this satisfies your answer, but I think they can move quickly if their contact rates are solid enough. If they make enough contact, I think their power will clearly play in whatever ballpark they play at. So yeah, we could see Roderick Rios start his year in high A, which would be really fun. I think the realistic options, only Hayes would move Jazz back to second. Maybe Polanco if he's lost too much range. Yeah, that's fair. I think, and I do love the idea of like, hey, the Yankees get Correa, but I don't see that really happening right now. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Explain to my Cubs to me why the Cubs wouldn't have learned from their Isak Paredes trade and once again go after a pull-oriented hitter who probably doesn't fit their ballpark. This is a great talking point. So when I looked at the, like, okay, compare the war between Nico Horner and Alex Bregman, right? I kind of just sat there and was like, why the hell would why would the Cubs do this? Why would the Cubs sign Bregman, trade Horner, and get like a lateral in terms of infield production when they could kind of just keep Horner and sign a pitcher? Go sign Jack Flaherty, right? You want a pitcher? Go sign Jack Flaherty. You don't have to do all this fajangling and move guys around. Bregman will not stay with you most likely after 1 year if he gets real offers from other teams. Whereas if you have Horner, I mean, you could just re-extend him. You already extended him once. Just sign him again when he's 20, when he's 30, or I don't know, like you could sign someone who's on the market at that time who isn't Nico Horner. Like, I feel like their best game plan is just kind of go after pitching, go sign Tanner Scott, go sign Jack Flaherty, or go sign Jack Flaherty and trade for some relievers. So yeah, I think that the only scenario in which it would be beneficial for them to acquire Bregman, trade Horner, is if they got a real, like, nice starting pitcher back, like a good cost controlled, a good starter, like someone who could really help them. Pablo Lopez would be a great get for them, but like, are the Twins in need of infielders? No, right? No, that doesn't really fit. Sandy Alcantara would be sick, but are the Marlins looking to get 2 years of Nico Horner for Sandy Alcantara? No. So Nico Horner is a good player. I think he's a really, really underrated player. And I do agree that there is a lot of like, why the hell would they do this in the Horner Bregman thing? But again, if they're gonna do it, I don't give a shit. Let's do it, right? Like, if I'm the Yankees, who cares? Go do it. Go do it. Do you think O'Neal Cruz? No, he's not getting traded by the Pirates, unfortunately. No, definitely no. Okay, let me push back on this so much right now. Ha-Seong Kim could win a Gold Glove at second base. Ha-Seong Kim could win a Gold Glove at second base, and pretty comfortably, and dominate defensively at the position, and steal 30 bases, and put up like a 340 OBP, and have like a 105 WRC plus. So let's say he's a 105 WRC plus, plays Gold Glove defense, and steals 30 bases. This guy is going to put up 4 WAR. There is not a universe, in my opinion, where Oswaldo Cabrera puts up 4 wins of a replacement. I'm sorry, I don't see it. There's no reason why you should project Oswaldo Cabrera's median outcome to be the same as Ha-Seong Kim's, and their ceilings are also different for that reason. So yeah. There is maybe a 2% chance Correa's even a Yankee, and that possibility is too high. I agree, Nicholas. I agree, unfortunately. Could it be that they don't believe in Matt Shaw's fit at third base and haven't looked at any write-ups about him? Well, if they don't, then that's actually a good point. What if they don't think Matt Shaw is the third baseman? Let me see where they've used him most this year. The one thing I will say is that guys who have shaky defense usually can't handle second, not third. That's kind of always been the thing. Now, Jed Hoyer said that Shaw would get a long look at third base, so that's according to Jed Hoyer. That seems to be where they're going to play him, third base. So again, I think that if they play him at third, that again keeps Horner in the conversation. And, Matt Shaw is someone who has played most of his games actually in the minor league level at third base. He's played 40, let me actually double check this data here. Yeah, he's played more games this year at third base than any other position. So he seems to be a primary third baseman. Yeah, I don't know. That was a good thing to pull up, though. I think that's a good piece of information to check out. Matt Shaw, he's looks like a stud, though. This guy looks like a beast. This guy looks like a freaking monster. He steals a bunch of bases, good pop, hits the ball in the air. This guy's going to be a stud with the Cubs, I think. We'll see. Not like I don't think he's going to be like a Hall of Famer, but like, I think he could be like a good defensive player who provides a good bat and just does a freaking job. So yeah, we'll see. Clark Schmidt for Luis Angel Acuna straight up, who says no. The Yankees. No. No. Luis Angel Acuna, he's not very good, guys. Don't get fooled. Clark Schmidt, don't do it. I don't want Clark Schmidt to get traded for Luis Angel Acuna. Yankees say no. Mets get laughed out of the building. That's kind of what would happen. Whatchamacallit? I'm gonna take another sip of water. Give me 1 second. Whew, sorry. I get so dehydrated. Again, it's a real bad problem. I gotta keep getting hydrated. What sound did my throat just make? I did not know I was capable of making that sound. Stroh to the Angels. I would love that. I would love that. Why not? Because why? Right? If you're the Angels, like, why? Like, there's a lot of like, why? Why would you want, like, think about this. Why would you want Marcus Stroman if you can sign your choice of player? So I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I think the Yankees are going to have to get really creative to move Stroman. I really do. I think that, maybe trading Stroman and a prospect and eating down like $8 million, maybe that could be, yeah, maybe that's kind of where they could be at. If the Yankees paid $10 million, I would dump it for nothing if we could free $10 million. So yeah. Good point, Nicholas. They already have kind of low velo guys, and I'm not particularly sure that I'm not really sure about like if the Angels view Stroman as a particularly good fit for the organization. So yeah. Also, John Heyman. This is really interesting. John Heyman, John Heyman said that executives believe that Jeff McNeil is considered untradeable on this market, which is really interesting. This is really interesting. I'm not sure. I just like kind of keeping up with other rumors, but I find it interesting that his market value is like untradeable. I wonder if, again, I don't know. We'll see. I wonder if, I wonder what would happen. I wonder what could happen with Jeff McNeil. I wonder if the Yankees might like look at that. I think that they're going to have to pair him with a prospect. I don't think Praz is enticing enough to make a team do that because end of the day, if you look at the situation with Marcus Stroman and the situation with Oswald Peraza would have to be rostered by a team, right? Like he would have to be rostered by a team. So because they have to put him on their 26-man or cut him. So if I'm a team, why am I going to bring in a guy who basically is a Rule 5 pick? He's a Rule 5 pick. I think you need to get someone who's either in the minor leagues or someone who has options left. Are they still interested in Jorge Polanco? Yeah, I imagine they're still interested. And is Bilo on the trade market? Brandon Lowe seems to not be as available on the trade market as people originally thought. If you were Brian Cashman, would you do Stroman and DJ for Alec Bowman, a below average prospect? Yeah, absolutely. The problem is that no team in baseball would take $30 million on, both of their contracts. No team in baseball would. And no team in baseball is going to take on even DJ's contract. Look, I would do this in a heartbeat. The Phillies would laugh at the Yankees and legitimately throw like the Phillies would Dave Dombrowski would jump Brian Cashman. Dave Dombrowski would like assault Brian Cashman if he offered him this. This is an insulting offer for the Phillies, probably. If the Yankees keep down if the Yankees can kick the can and go in-house and bring back Hill, what is your play for next offseason? I'm not focusing on next offseason. I would say what a disappointing offseason, what a failure in the infield, and what a gross way for Yankee fans what a gross way to reward Yankee fans after saying you're going all in and that you're going to spend a lot of money. It would be gross. No, let me explain this. No Yankee fan should be sitting down right now and look satisfied with the state of the infield because the American League is bad. The American League being bad should give you every single indication, even more of a reason to want to go out and get an infielder. If Alex Bregman gets a short-term deal and the Yankees don't sign him, they better have gotten somebody, or they better have gotten somebody of impact in the infield and in a different position group, because that will have been a failure. You need to get an impact player. You need to get someone who makes your infield better. You need to make your infield better. The AL stinks. It stinks. And what a heartbreak it would be for the Boston Red Sox if the New York Yankees signed Alex Bregman and took a player who, I mean, it just feels like he's a perfect fit. He's someone who's played with Alex Cora. Alex Cora was his assistant manager or bench coach in Houston. Bregman is such a perfect fit for Fenway. Bregman's a guy who could give them a leader, who could be the leader of this emerging young group of young, fun, talented prospects. And you sign him and you take him off of, and you take him out of their hands. And I know someone's saying Bregman's not considering a short-term deal. Do you know who else wasn't considered a short-term option? Blake Snell wasn't considered someone looking for a short-term deal. Matt Chapman was someone not looking for a short-term deal. You're not looking for a short-term deal until you absolutely have to sign a short-term deal, and there's nothing really else available for you on the market. So there's that. And I agree with this. If they use the draft picks excuse, I don't give a shit. I don't care about those draft picks. Go sign him because you need to go get better. The Giants gave up 4 draft picks last year to sign Chapman and Snell. You should be willing to do the same because you are in a contention window. You are in a contention window. You must win baseball games. So, yeah. And no, this is not being spoiled. This is not being spoiled. I'm sorry. This is not being spoiled. DJ LeMahieu is not good enough to start. He is not good enough to start. And you can say he's had injuries. Guess what? Those injuries aren't going to get any better as he gets older. If you think that DJ LeMahieu is going to get healthier as he gets younger, I have a bridge to sell you. There is no shot. There is no world. There's no conceivable planet where DJ LeMahieu starting at third base of the New York Yankees on opening day is a good thing. It should mean that somebody got hurt. It should mean that him and Cabrera, the guy you brought in to play third, and Cabrera got hurt. It should mean the guy you brought in to play third, Cabrera, and Peraza got hurt. It should mean the guy you brought in to play third, Peraza, Cabrera, and Jorbit Vivas got hurt. DJ LeMahieu is a bad major league player. DJ LeMahieu is an injury-prone major league player, and DJ LeMahieu is an old major league player. He is not, and I truly mean this, not a starting caliber player, and I cannot wait for him to prove me wrong too. I hope he proves me wrong, but I'm sorry, he is not good enough. Let me pull up his numbers for you guys. Let me remind you guys what DJ LeMahieu did this past season, because I think it's absurd to suggest that the Yankees should be satisfied with DJ LeMahieu as their starting third baseman. He had a 52 WRC plus, a negative 0.5 WAR, a 259 slugging percentage, a 269 on base percentage, and a 204 average. Abysmal, terrible, just unplayably bad. 56.4% ground ball rate. He chased more this year than ever before. His plate discipline was a career worst. He had the worst plate discipline of his career. He's bad. Folks, he's not good. Folks, it's over. 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 You could argue he shouldn't even be on the major league bench. It's over. It's over, and over. He is not good. He cannot play at the major league level, at a high level, and be a starting caliber player for the New York Yankees. I apologize. I would not. I would not trade Spencer Jones for Brian Hayes personally. Average his last 4 years. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, let me do that right now for you. Over the last 4 years, DJ LeMahieu has a 99 WRC plus and a 362 slugging percentage over his last 9 years, including 2 years that occurred before he had multiple foot injuries. He hasn't had an above average offensive season since 2022. I'm sorry, Kenny. He's not good. And I agree. 3 letters, D-F-A. D-F-A. That is the only reason why he is not DFA'd is because of his money. It's the only reason he's here. They have to play him. They have to put him on the bench. They have to have him on the 26-man roster. He's owed $30 million. He's owed $30 million. So there's that. Let's see. Peraza is the best of the 3. I think Cabrera is the best of the 3. I think Cabrera's swing plays best at Yankee Stadium compared to those 3. But like we're talking about Peraza and Cabrera and fighting between which 2 are better. God, I just hope they get someone. I hope they get someone. I have not done enough research to know who I think is a better player, but they're both pretty freaking good Japanese pitchers, man. I'm guessing Bryson Stott isn't available. Yeah, he's not available. They do not. So here's the situation. They actually have to decide on whether they're going to keep him, trade him, or DFA him at the end of spring training because they do not have minor league options on him. They don't. Remember the Yankees signed Teixeira and ended up losing draft picks, won the World Series? Yeah, it was all, they actually did not, they lost the ability to draft Mike Trout because of that. And okay, let's get chat to answer this question. Would you guys have not signed Teixeira knowing that Mike Trout was available in the draft? Mike Trout, the best player of our generation, probably. He was available. He was the reason we didn't draft Mike Trout is because we signed Mark Teixeira. That's why that happened. The comp pick, like we gave the Angels a pick that got them Mark Teixeira. I just want to clarify. So does anyone think that the Yankees should have taken that off? Like, I just want to clarify again. If you knew that Mike Trout would be Mike Trout and that not signing Mark Teixeira would get you Mike Trout, would you not sign Mark Teixeira and kind of throw and potentially wipe away a World Series? Would anyone do it? Because I wouldn't. If you told me, all right, here's the future. You're going to sign when you sign Mark Teixeira, your team's going to win the World Series. He's going to play a big role in the World Series. But you will lose a chance to draft Mike Trout. Everyone on every GM would say, what are you talking about? Give me the World Series. He could be Barry Bonds. I want the World Series. I want to win the freaking World Series. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Bregman and whatever draft pick. So, yeah. That's a comparison we make here. So that draft pick that you may not get is not probably going to be Mike Trout. So yeah, no, I know that. I get that. I'm not saying the Yankees effed up. I'm using the I was using the example of Mark Teixeira to say the Yankees gave up a pick that proved to be one of the best draft picks ever made, and there is not a single person on the planet who would undo it because the Yankees won the World Series. Not a single Yankee fan would undo it because they won the World Series. That's my point. And that the likelihood that the player that you do not get to draft because of this signing is as good as Mike Trout is very, very low. Granted, the chance of Alex Bregman bringing you a World Series is still not that high. The chance of winning a World Series is hilariously low, but Alex Bregman definitely makes you leagues better than the rest of the American League. So, yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. I think that if you sign Bregman, now this is short term. If it's a 6-7 year deal, I don't really have a lot of interest in that. So, if he has to sign a short term deal and the Yankees sign him, I mean, again, think of the blow that would be. I just want you guys to let me contextualize this for you guys. All right, let me take a sip of water, then we'll contextualize this for you guys. Taking a sip. Two of the teams that are in on Alex Bregman are two quote unquote young and upcoming teams. I say young and upcoming just because I think they're young and up and coming teams that could be very good in 25 and 26 and for the foreseeable future. Both of them are in the Tigers and Red Sox on Alex Bregman. And they would love to add Alex Bregman and to get their core going and to get things started and to get Bregman, let him be the leader for those young players and kind of launch this into next gear and go become contenders. And you just take that from them. You just strip it from them. You strip that from them. You take it from them. You say, nuh-uh, Red Sox, you're not getting a guy who fits your ballpark like a glove. Mine. He's mine. You're going to see him in your division playing in the AL East, and he'll play for the New York Yankees. You lost your guy to the New York freaking Yankees. Just think about that. That's heartbreaking. That's soul crushing. Think of how that would feel for a Red Sox fan or for the Red Sox organization or for players on that team who want that guy in that ballpark on that roster, and to see him go to the freaking Yankees, that would kill them. That would kill them. And you would also be getting a guy who's going to give you a 120 WRC plus, good defense at third base, 340, 350 OBP, fixed leadoff spot. Boom, you got your leadoff hitter right there. Boom, you got third baseman. Got another right-handed bat to help your lineup. Got another way to improve your offense. Again, if this is a short-term deal, that's something I think the Yankees should explore. If it's, again, 6-7 years, cool. Don't swim those waters. Fine by me. I'm not going to be upset. But if it's 3 years, yeah, I'm going to feel a certain type of way because, dude, he would be so fucking good for the Yankees, and it would be a killer. It'd be a dagger for the rest of the American League. It would be a dagger. It would kill the American League. It would disrupt the balance of the American League. So, Dylan Morris saw that tweet from How to Hell. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think the Mariners need him. They need bats. They cannot afford to trade him. Kenny, I agree with this, Kenny. Now, I do want the Cubs to get Bregman if the Yankees don't, because if the Cubs get Bregman, I think we can get Horner. If we get Horner, I'm very happy with that, because, again, the Red Sox don't get him, that being Bregman, and the Yankees get to benefit from this transaction. So, yeah, and if Bregman leads off, yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be great. I mean, wouldn't that be so dope? Now, again, draft picks, IFA money, and then big thing here, not giving him 6 years, not giving him 7 years. I'll give him 3 with opt-outs. So, yeah. If we don't get Judge, we don't get Trout. Yeah. I mean, look, there are so many things that happen. I'm just saying, like, I was using the most extreme example I could think of to make the point that getting better and making your team considerably better in the short term and winning a World Series is more valuable than Mike freaking Trout. That's how valuable that is. It is the most valuable thing in the world, a World Series title. Now, this is actually something I'm not sure I fully agree with. San Diego weirdly plays to Ha-Seong Kim's strengths, but I do like Ha-Seong Kim a lot. I do. So, Drew, I love that you talk about base stealing and try to explain how it matters towards offense, because it does. Let me give an example, guys. 2022 to 2024. Let's see. So, offensive runs, most valuable offensive players. Horner's somewhere here. He's somewhere here. Where are we, Nico Horner? I don't know. Wait, hold on. I'm just going to use WAR to filter through. We're going to find Horner through WAR. 25.9. So what is 25.9? So Nico Horner offensively, 25.9 offensive runs. That is a decent amount of offensive runs. Let's find guys who've played a similar amount of games. I'm going to kind of filter, look through guys who Dansby Swanson. That's a guy who compares in terms of offensive production. Let's look at the last 2 years just to kind of also simplify for, like, the new base running rules, because the new base running rules have affected total offensive value. I need to use WAR to then find him and then kind of compare him. 17.5. Gonna just go here. 17.5. Okay, let's look for 17.5. Wait, hold on. Second page. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this with my left hand instead of my right hand. I don't know why I'm doing this. I apologize, everybody. I'm trying to make a point. Okay, here we go. Nico Horner, 17.5. Players with similar amount of games played. You've got Paul Goldschmidt over the last 2 years. Adley Rutschman is a similar offensive contributor to Horner in terms of just offense. 17.5 to 20.2 over 300 games. It's relatively similar. Bogarts. Let's see. Spencer Steer. Like, Nico Horner is a decently impactful offensive player because he's a really good base runner, and he's an above average hitter. Not a good hitter, but like an above average hitter. Above average. Is above average good? I don't really know. My point is, and yeah, I would consider batting him leadoff because he gets on base like 330, 340, 33 to 34% of the time. That's fine by me. And his bat would actually play better at Yankee Stadium, according to a spray chart estimator done by Jacob STL_E. So yeah, there's that, guys. Really hope the Yankees are gonna have us all fooled. And Praz is the guy. I hope the Yankees have us all fooled, and that there is a guy on the way that we do not know of. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a particularly big fan of the I don't know. I think the Yankees need someone who can play just a good infielder. I agree. If there's a certain threshold of, like, if you steal 75, if you can steal 80% of your bases, basically, you should steal. So yeah. This is fair. I think it's fair. Man. I think it's fair. I think it's fair to be like, hey, like, Hal has to, like, foot the bill on a guy like Bregman, or, like, go get someone who makes this team better. Like, make this team better. Go get Ha-Seong Kim. Go make this team better. I think that's a more than fair take. I don't think there's a soul in the world who values stolen bases less than me, actually. I value good base running. It's not necessarily just stolen bases. It's good base running. I value good base running as just valuable. I think good base running is important. You need good base running. Good base running is important. The Yankees need to get good base runners. And yes, Kim is injured to start the year. He will not play until like late April, early February, late April, early May, which I'm fine with, because if you're the Yankees, and I'm going to write an article about this because I've had this sitting for a while, if the Yankees want to find out what DJ LeMahieu and Oswaldo Cabrera can give them, they can do that and still sign Ha-Seong Kim because he's going to miss the first month of the year. So that's sick. That's great. Perfect. 2 thumbs up. You get to figure out if DJ sucks or not. Give a little bit of a trial run to Peraza. So, yeah. No, Bregman has not. There's no information that suggests Bregman is open to an short-term deal. I was just saying if that became a reality, yeah, I would want the Yankees to be in on that. And as we get closer to the end of the offseason, I wonder if that becomes more of a reality. This is a ball club, folks. This is a ball club. I don't know if I agree with the lineup order, but this is a ball club. This is a ball club. Here's kind of here's the point I'm going to make. And we're just going to share this tab. And so, Ken, not necessarily that good base running always results in winning games. Like the Dodgers were 4th in BSR. They won the World Series, but the Brewers were 19.7 BSR, right? And they didn't get past the wild card round, and the Reds didn't make the playoffs. Diamondbacks were good. So the offense is why they didn't make the playoffs. Cubs didn't make the playoffs. Phillies made the playoffs. A lot of these teams got either first rounder or didn't make it. In 2023, again, the World Series champions were the Texas Rangers, and they had negative base running runs. But you have some good teams here. Diamondbacks went to the World Series. Orioles won 100 games. NLCS didn't make the postseason. Won the division. But no. They made the postseason in 23. Also made the postseason. Didn't make the postseason. So base running, it's 2022. Astros are near the bottom in terms of BSR in 22. Yeah, they were negative 5.7. They were not a good base running team that year. 2021, Braves were, where were the Braves? The Braves, where are we? Where are the Braves? Where are the Braves, man? Why can't I find them? Oh, 13th. So BSR doesn't always correlate to winning the World Series, but base running is value. And if you can be a good base running team while also hitting, that's ideal. That's how you form a really good offense. So it's not that base running is clearly less important than offense. Base running is clearly less important than pitching, not offense, because offense is technically base running too. Base running is less valuable than hitting and pitching. It's also probably less valuable than defense, but base running is still valuable, if that makes sense. Base running is less valuable than the other 3 major components of team construction and player value, but it is still important enough where you can be a better player if you're a good base runner. And yeah, I think stolen bases are overvalued. The better question is just base running value. And I'm only arguing for Horner in terms of base running value. But yes, I just like that people mention the stolen base because that's base running value, right? So I want guys who are uber valuable on the bases. I'm going to start wrapping things up soon, just so that I can, handle my dinner situation. I've got, family coming over in a little bit. So there's that. But really, really appreciate you guys sticking through for the end of the stream. If you have any final questions, I'll start answering them now. So yeah, but really just a fun conversation. It's a fun conversation. I love talking ball with you guys. You guys are the best. We started off with IFA stuff and we have ended on base running. Could they work a Peraza ATL trade? Maybe they can get a lower look. If they can get anything back for Peraza, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I'll never sit here and be like, oh, that's not enough for Peraza. They get a guy, and I'll be happy with that. So, yeah, there's that. Any more questions before I depart from this glorious thing we know as streaming on YouTube? I'm on StreamYard actually. Peraza has a high ceiling. I disagree. I think it's a pretty low ceiling. Or not like a high ceiling. His ceiling's not high for the Yankees because he can't play shortstop with the Yankees because Volpe's a shortstop and Volpe's a good shortstop. So yeah, I would also move him for Honey Bun. Honey Bun's gas. People on the rate Honey Buns are fire, man. Honey Buns are fire. So yeah. We appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking through to the end of the stream. If you like this stream, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell. Please subscribe if you can. We've got a super chat from Richard K, though, so this is actually going to have to last a little bit longer. I owe it to the fans. And Richard. Thank you so much, Richard. And I love Brendan Donovan. I like the idea of acquiring Nolan Gorman as a flyer player. The problem I have is just a defense. The bat I'm actually willing to take a flyer on, but again, the defense is a big problem. He's not going to be hard to acquire, I'd imagine. It's just, again, defensively doesn't really fit the Yankees. Not really a good defensive second baseman. Don't know if he's a brick at third or not. So, Richard, I like the idea. Nolan Gorman's a fun player. Again, I think the Yankees would be good for developing this bat. And I also like Edward Julien, who was mentioned here. And Drew Thorpe, thank you. I'm going to have to use another one. Drew Thorpe. Richard, Drew, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You guys are the best. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. I am humbled. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys have been awesome. You guys are super supportive. And, I love going live and just chopping up with you guys and talking a little bit of ball. If you guys have any, again, last second questions, shoot them in now before I wrap things up. I'm going to take a little swig of water while you guys start typing away your questions, your departing questions, because I want to make sure I'm hydrated before I start answering them. Which, by the way, get you a flask, guys. Go get you a flask. Go get you a flask. Flasks are fire. Dude, I don't even have to look. Once I saw Correa there, heartbeat. Yeah, dude, I would do it today. Yes, would do it today. Is Julian an option? I don't know if he's like on the table to be traded, but like, I don't see why he wouldn't be. I don't see why the Twins would like say, I'm never trading this guy. So yeah, there's that. And yeah, W Drew Thorpe, W Richard K. You guys are great. And I think Dominguez will one day hit first in this lineup, and it'll be this season. And I think that when he does, he will be the leadoff hitter for the Yankees for the next like decade, at least. He's a stud. I love Dominguez. I think he's a great prospect, and I'm really excited to see him hit the big league level. So, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how Dominguez does this year. But with that being said, again, thank you so much for tuning in. I think Judge has to hit second, or I would prefer Judge hit second over third. So, if you want to hit third, there's that. And Judge could protect Jason. That's a good point. I mean, I just think that Jason would see a lot of pitches to hit, which would be really nice for him. And he can kind of take advantage from there and start forcing guys to pitch him out of zone. And then, he's a patient hitter. So I think that's going to, I think that'll, for lack of better terms, help him settle into a big league role. We'll see. JD Belly Judge, I would hit Judge second and hit Belly third in that scenario, but I'd actually rather hit Jazz third. I'll do a whole episode about lineup construction, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to sign off. And I do think Judge and Soto, there's just like you can know that there are a lot of strikes that are going to be there. So yeah. But thank you again for tuning in. We appreciate you guys a lot. You guys are the best. Again, like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Check out Fireside Yankees on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. We're gonna be streaming again tomorrow night. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Have an episode as usual up tomorrow morning. Got some fun stuff coming for you guys. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Peace out. Love you all. Let's go Yankees, folks. Let's go Yankees.